Hello the internet, and welcome to my PlayStation 4 repair attempt video. Just a very quick disclaimer that this is my PlayStation. I purchased it as spares and repairs. All I'm doing here is honestly, you know, using my spare time to learn things. I would never do this for how can I say, on a customer's PlayStation, even though I don't do this for a living. So all you see here is just me tinkering with this PlayStation, with the main board, with the equipment I have. It's not necessarily the best way of doing it. And again, I'm not charging anybody for what you're gonna see in this video. So that's why maybe sometimes I'm doing things you wouldn't expect to see on a repairman working on a PlayStation. But again, this is my PlayStation. I paid it with my own money, and it's just for fun. And I decided to share it with all of you. So enjoy the video, and hopefully the PlayStation will work at the end. I don't know yet, to be honest. Bye. This is the first video of PlayStation 4 I have collected yesterday. It's well, the seller said it has the blue light of death, the BLOD, which usually means the APU, which is the main processor on the board, needs to be reflowed / reballed. So I don't know. It said it took away it removed the hard drive. So I got a hard drive here. Let's see what's inside. Chances are there's a brick. Who knows? Again, this is the first PS4 I'm seeing, like I'm owning. Oh, so that's kind of bad news. Someone opened it. You can see here. There should be like covers. So hopefully, unless it was to remove the hard drive. I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, it could be. I think to remove the hard drive you have to do that. But yeah, I don't see. It doesn't look horrible. Like, as in filthy or very dirty. It feels okay. Okay, let's open it up and see what happens. Oh, there is a hard drive. Oh, fair enough. That's even better. There is maybe I'm confused with something else. There is a hard drive. Oh, before I do this, let's test it. You never know. That wouldn't be the first item that I buy which actually works. So, got an HDMI cable here, which is connected to this monitor. Okay, power goes here, and power first. Okay. I guess I'll have to look into this, because the video I watched, can you see the blue light on? Yes, you can see that. The video I watched, the PS4 would just shut down immediately. This one is pulsing. And it's running. I'm just wondering whether this is an HDMI issue instead. I just have again, I don't know this console at all, but I have the feeling this may actually be working, and it's not displaying anything. Let me see if I can. I feel I don't know. I need to look into that. Does that mean the controller has paired with the PS4? Let's try and switch it off, which I don't know exactly how to do. Okay, it's got power. Again, I'm used to the PS3, so I don't really know anything about the PS4. I'm just wondering whether it's just the video needs to be reset. Oh, that's switched off now. So on the PS3, if you hold on the on-off button when you power it on, it should beep again, and it should basically go back to default. Let's try this. No. Well, at least it's not beeping. Oh, it has. So that should mean I've gone back to factory default. But again, I still haven't got a picture. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Oh, I know it's actually switched off. Okay, well, it's not working, but I need to have a look online, because the only video I watched about the blue light of death, the PlayStation would power off itself immediately. This one stays powered, so who knows, it could be something else. Anyways, let's see how it is inside. I need to. So that's our power supply. Maybe it's not relevant, but one of the cables here was not fully plugged in. So I don't know, maybe we want to give it a go again. I don't think it makes any difference, but since it's very easy to try again, why not? Why not? Oops. Okay. Still no luck. Ooh. So I see that someone, let me show you. Someone has already tried this little trick here. You see there's a kind of an extra washer here. And again, this is supposed to take care of the blue light of death. Basically, it's pushing the CPU down just enough. So the idea is it could work for a little bit more time. But yeah, definitely someone has been here. Oh, actually, oh no. My bad. These are actually factory. So they look homemade, but I can see them in the video I'm watching now. These are actually Sony factory, so my bad. So these will need new memory pads. These have been reused. Yeah, not great. And someone put some thermal paste here. I mean, that's the wrong side. It doesn't make much sense, to be honest. There we go. Ooh. They put like a ton of thermal paste on this CPU. Anyways, yeah. I mean, the good news is that it doesn't look like it's been reworked or touched. Besides, again, some thermal paste, I can see something around here actually, which is the Ethernet port. Well, that could be factory. Yeah, it's factory. I think it's factory. Battery is okay. So I want to add those washers. On the internet I found they have to be non-conductive. I don't think it makes much difference, but I'm gonna use this, which are like neoprene, not neoprene, they're very soft rubber and not neoprene, sorry. So, and they're fairly thick. So they could work. Now, let me see if I remember how to put this back together, to be honest. Okay. So I need this back. don't want to put all the screws back. Again, I just want to power it up, to be honest. Oops. So again, I just want to power it up and see if by any chance it works. I doubt it. Stick on the button. Oh, fair enough. Okay. You just need to touch that. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, now it's got worse. It switches off straight away. Okay. Let's see what I've done. Okay. So now is not even trying. I guess that maybe all the screws have a meaning in the end. It could be. Or I made it worse, which is very possible. Nope. Okay. Too bad. Okay, let's try these again. See, it's staying on now, and now it's, you know, it stays on more time, and I feel if I turn it around and we check the fan, It stays on more time. I don't know. I feel it's the symptom of the same problem, to be honest. I'm not. Again, I don't feel. Oops. I don't feel like I've broken it or anything. It's just chances are, depending on how much I tighten those things, it changes its behavior. Yeah, the fan is spinning now, and now it stopped. So yeah, it's definitely depending on the pressure. Actually, the less the pressure, the more it works, and that's why I found it not fully tightened. That's quite interesting. Someone definitely found that, realized that. Where is it? Hello? Oh, that's here. So this time the fan doesn't spin, but it still pulls some blue and then it stops. This time the fan started and then it stopped again. Yeah, I feel it really needs a rebuild. It's just there's a bad connection somewhere. Now, before trying to rebuild things and everything, I had a look online, and again, this flashing blue light can be a bit of everything, depending whether it's flashing forever, it's flashing for 6 seconds, it's flashing for 50 seconds, or it shuts down straight away. The thing is, this console, it changes the behavior of the flashing depending whether I'm squeezing it, I'm pushing it, I'm holding on the CPU, I'm holding on the power supply. So I don't really know what's going on, but what I've noticed is someone suggested it could be the power supply, and if you hold on it, it may work again, maybe for a while. And when I tried it, it was, at that moment, it was shutting down straight away every time I was trying to power it up. And when I pushed on the power supply, which is normally here, which is that one, it started, well, it didn't work, but at least it didn't shut down straight away. So it's like, well, maybe there is something with the power supply. But the other thing is, if you push on this thing, you've got the motherboard underneath. So, you're also applying some pressure on the motherboard itself. Now, this power supply connects here on these two lugs, and you have this type of connector here, which, I don't know, it feels a bit too open. It's like it could be deformed a bit. So I think I tried already with a screwdriver just to put it back where you would expect it to be. Let me try again now. I have a bit more access to it. Let's take a look at this power supply first. So I took a look yesterday. I just wanted to check a couple of things before giving up, I guess. Giving up on the power supply and just start rebuilding things. The other thing is, I'm checking the voltages on the power supply, but really I should check the voltages on the motherboard, which is kind of difficult. So for now, let's focus on the power supply. So the connections between the power supply and the console basically happen through those two lugs for 12 volts, and then there's this little white connector which says 5 volts standby, and there's another control which I guess is the power on signal for the power supply. So the power supply always supplies the 5 volts whenever it's flagged, and only switches to 12 volts when the signal comes in. Now, I checked yesterday using my oscilloscope those signals, and the 12 volts is 12 volt, the 5 volt is 5 volt. and I can see the signal, the 5-volt on off coming on and off. What I'd like to find out now, and that's the reason for these two wires, is to whether I can see at some point the 12 volts disappears when the console shuts down, and also the 5 volts, the control command, disappears. I'm just wondering which one is disappearing first. So is it the 12 volt disappearing, so hence the console dies, and obviously the command, the control line disappears as well, or is it the console telling the power supply to shut down, and then obviously the 12 volt, the 5 volt control command, control line goes low, and hence the power supply disappear, the 12 volt disappears. So I should be able to see that using two channels of my oscilloscope, so I should be able to see which one goes first. So my yellow line is 12 volts, so it's set to 2 per division, that should be fine. And my purple line is my control line, which is going to be 5 volts, so let's set it to 5. So the purple line should go up one division, the other one should go up 6 divisions. Yes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and for now, let's see what happens now. Okay, so I think I know I have one of my probes is faulty somehow. I don't know. Anyways, I think this is just a matter of setting the oscilloscope right. Okay, so if I'm checking now and I'm powering up the console, first beep, somehow after it stops, it shuts down, it doesn't work, so it will be now. And you see the 12 volt here, that's the control line, and at some point control line goes low and the 12 volt slowly disappears. Now I want to see what happens, so let me do this again, and then I'll stop the capture when that happens. Okay, well, it looks like, so that's my control line, and it looks like the 12 volt is stopping, is dropping afterwards. It's not, it doesn't seem like the 12 volts dropping is it happens before the control line. Let's try and put a little bit well, could try a little bit more resolution. I guess I could try with, appears dead. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, you know, that's, I basically set the oscilloscope to stop when the purple line goes down. So it was waiting for that event. It happened, and I put a little bit of more what is that, time range, so you see things happening a bit better. And again, it's pretty obvious that there's nothing wrong with the 12 volts. It just drops when the console says it's time for you to stop. One thing I've noticed, you can see there's noise in here, and which could possibly be, I don't know, it could be the switching of the power supply itself. It's open, it's not, it's unshielded here, so it could be. And you can see here is just stops, and then the stop control arrives and the 12 volt stops. It could be just the board stopping, doing something before, just a split second before it sends the stop command. I don't know, just something I've noticed. That's when yesterday I thought, well, maybe that could be the power supply failing. And you know, my thing is, if I was seeing the 12 volt going down and then the 5 volt control line going down, that's power supply problem. But looking at this, it looks like the board is telling switch off and the power supply is doing exactly what the board is saying. So here is where the 12 volts is coming to the motherboard. I just want to resolder those, and I'll connect the wire to the 12 volt one to see, you know, to see what actually reaches the motherboard. The joints look fine, but again, you never know. There it goes. Okay, same thing. I can see, again, I can see my 12 volts. Let's do another single capture. Okay, so again, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So yeah, that's about, it's 11.5, which I guess is fine. Should be okay. But again, I don't see anything wrong with 12 volt. The noise stops a bit earlier, then it shuts down, then you get the shutdown control command, and then the 12 volt line drops. Okay, so again, it's weird that if I push on the power supply, it stays on. For example, now you can see the fan here. So let me put this back to run mode so you see what happens. So now, for example, if I power it up on the next one, the fan spins for a split second and it doesn't move. And then you hear a click after a while, and you see in the oscilloscope as well. There you go, so nothing's happened. But if I push on the power supply and I try again, a second beep. There you go. But it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with the power supply, because again, the voltages are all the same. Well, maybe I'm reading a bit more, 11.8 volts. I wonder. Oh, that was a perfect example of a faulty power supply. Let me zoom in on the oscilloscope. So what I'm gonna do now is, so I'll power up the console, but then I'll cut the power at the power supply. So the console has started, the fan is spinning. Oh gosh, I need to stop the capture. That's it. So you see that now the 12 volt has died abruptly and the control line goes down after a while. So that's a failed power supply. So my main supply dies quite abruptly because something is using it, which I guess is the CPU and everything else. But the control line still stays on, because basically says, you know, it's still the 5 volts. Well, I guess capacitors are still on. It's like, no, you should be on. Why you shut it down? And eventually gives up because obviously there's no power whatsoever. But that's definitely that's what I was hoping to see, something like that. The 12 line dropping first, and then the control line dropping. That would definitely show me a faulty power supply. That's an interesting thing. One other device that could cause the blue light of death, to be honest, I feel many things in here could cause the blue light of death. But this one is the South Bridge. Again, who knows? It could be that one, but that's a smaller chip. I want to try a little bit of reflow here and see if by any chance, I would be happy to see, you know, if I see the PlayStation coming back to life and then it crashes 2 hours later, at least I know I need to rebuild this one and not the main chip, which is down here. Okay, so I've got the console back together. Don't care about the Wi-Fi, and see what happens. I'm not expecting much, to be honest, but again, it's an easy test. It gives me maybe a hint what's wrong with it. My usual mess in here, cables everywhere. There you go. So that's plugged in. Let's give it power. Yeah, let's power up and see what happens. No, it's not even trying like before, and it powers off. Okay. Let me try with my usual trick here. It's weird that, you know, if I push here, it works. Well, it works. It spins. It doesn't really do anything. I'm looking at the screen and really nothing's happening. It's weird, but I get something similar by tweaking the pressure on the APU. So yeah, it's a bit weird. Yeah, still nothing on screen. Blue light is pulsing. Well, this is telling me one thing: there's nothing shorted on the board. Yeah, that's the main thing. The board is working. This is one of the IC. This is definitely a connection problem with, who knows? You know, it could be the APU, it could be the south bridge, it could be one of the memory modules. Let's see what happens now. Well, it worked again. It would spin. No, it doesn't spin. Okay. Okay. Well, let me try and apply some pressure on the heatsink, which is underneath this plastic thing, and do the same thing. Yeah. You see, it's not the power supply. It's just as long as you apply pressure to the motherboard, then you get some different behavior. So again, I was a bit misled yesterday by the fact that by pressing on the power supply, it would work. I'm sure there are faulty power supplies around, but it doesn't seem to be the case here, and it must be something. Well, it's definitely something with the motherboard. I watched some videos online, and again, I'm doing my best to try and reflow the APU, because it's again, it's a big chip. I guess I'll have, I don't know, maybe 50% chances of doing it right with my equipment. So one other thing that I found online is there could be something shorted on the board, which is not shutting down the main power supply, because it's like, you know, small components, so the power supply is not sensing a big short. But I may be able to see it with using my thermal camera. In particular, I'm looking at the memory chips. Now, unfortunately, this board has memory chips on both sides, if I remember right. I'll have to run the board without the protection, but obviously I can't install this because obviously it will short everything. So I think I'll try and put some washers. I mean, I could use my fingers, but I'd like to have my fingers available to go around and look at components. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I have this it's a very soft rubber washer with some metal washers on top, and that should be enough. Again, I'm not going to play games, so as long as the APU is somehow touching the heatsink, that that should be enough, to be honest. So that should keep the washers, prevent the washers from shorting anything, and hopefully that will work, and I can power on the console, and hopefully I can see something. Honestly, again, I'm doing my best to try not to reflow the APU, because again, I know it's not an easy. With the right equipment, it's normal, it's perfectly fine. Without the right equipment, I have something in between. I'm not gonna use a heat gun. I have an SMD station, but it's not exactly the best tool. I'm aware of that. Okay. Okie dokie. Perfect. Let's get some power. And let me record the video here. So hopefully I can superimpose it. Okay, so power again, and let's try this now. I can see the memory chips getting warm, but don't see anything out of the ordinary. And the board is keeping powered. Yeah, they're getting like lukewarm. I haven't got anything more than 33 degrees at the moment. 29, that's the reflection. 35, again, all around the CPU here is no more than 37 degrees, which is perfectly fine. One is a bit warmer than the other. I don't think it qualifies for for a failure, to be honest. Is it this one? No. Yeah. Okay, I haven't got the HDMI plugged in, just in case I'm on my lucky day. Okay, so no, I don't see anything. I'm looking like for a small component, small something. What's that? Again, that's no. Yeah, again, I'm looking for something 80 degrees. These temperatures I'm reading are perfectly fine. Some of these things are reflections. No, I don't see anything on this side of the board, unfortunately. There's definitely something happening at the CPU level, the APU level, which is good. Oh wait, I didn't realize that. It could be oh, those two memory modules were not active a moment ago. Or maybe, okay, it was, oh, fair enough. Maybe it was just the, okay, no. Is it this thermal scale? The thing is, this one, it's cold. Interesting. You see that? So let me see if I can, where is that? Yes. So the one, I mean, temperatures here are a bit hit and miss, but the one in the middle is 52, this one is 50-ish, which is fine. Well, that's 45. Again, it's, I don't think it qualifies as a, and even though, again, the rest of the board is it says it's 30. Let me try with my finger. So that's hot. That's hot. It's a bit less hot, but I think it's consistent with the others. That's a bit warmer than the others. Yeah, you know, it's 50, 55, 54. I don't, well, that's pretty hot, to be honest. It burns a bit. But this one is hot as well. This is a bit less. I don't think we're looking for something which is a bit more, a bit less. I mean, one should be burning. This is a bit burning. Well, it's been a few seconds now and it's 55. But again, I think we're really, that's not what I'm looking for, to be honest. So no, I wouldn't say there's anything. Something's happening behind here, which is, I guess, is the South Bridge. Okay, so yeah, there's something here, but again, it's 40 something. No. So next step would be to flip it around and try and somehow to power it up. It's gonna be interesting, unfortunately. Okay, I'm going to push my luck here a bit. I know that someone if I end up putting this on the internet, someone will cringe right now. But I removed the DVD, the Blu-ray disc drive, because the on-off button is on it, and I couldn't find another way to connect the on-off button to the motherboard. I guess if I just remove this board and plug it to the motherboard somehow will sense there's no disk drive. If I don't plug the fan, it will sense there's no fan. So I have to plug everything. I think it's fine. I have this little heatsink, which is there's a little bit of there's a thermal paste at the back, at the bottom. Again, it's only for a minute. No. Oh, okay. Now you can see the memory modules. And drawing too much current. Not sure why.